This is the plaintiff, Seth Frankel. He says he hired the defendant's limo company to take his family into the city during the holidays to see the Christmas spectacular show at Radio City Music Hall. And the guy botched the job big time. He arrived disheveled and smelly, showed up almost 2 hours late, and needless to say, they missed their dinner reservation and the show. The smell of the limo was putrid. There was no back seat in the car, and it was one of the most horrible experiences of his life. He's suing the crook because he refuses to refund his $1,883, and that's simply unfair. This is the defendant, Mark Hennig. He says he was not 2 hours late like the plaintiff claims. It was more like 40 minutes, and he made it into the city with plenty of time to catch the show. The plaintiff's a rude man who cursed him out, threatened him, and maybe if he weren't so nasty, it wouldn't have come to this, a lawsuit. Bottom line, he doesn't owe him $1,883. That's for darn sure. He's accused of lousy limoing.
All parties, please raise your right hand. You seated? Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Seth Frankel, you are suing Bob Mark Limousine Corporation, represented here by, you're the owner, Mark Hennig?
Yes.
For $1,883 in limo services that you want returned to you, the fees, $335 for a pair of pants that the limo ripped, $507 for tickets to Radio City Music Hall, which they made you late for, and $225 for you to get home from the city because he left you stranded.
That's correct,
Tell me
Your Honor.
what happened.
Well, basically what happened was I had ordered a limousine from Bob Mark Limousine Service on the evening.
Had you ever used them before?
No, I have not.
How'd you get their name?
I had a flyer left on my car at a supermarket with
Okay.
a picture of a brand new Bentley. Now, I knew the car that I was getting was not a Bentley, but I didn't expect it to be what it was.
Okay.
So I had made the arrangements to be picked up on the evening of December 4th.
For how many people?
6 people.
And where were you going?
Our plans were to go to the Carmine's for dinner and then to the Christmas spectacular show at Radio City Music Hall.
Okay. What time was your pickup?
The pickup was scheduled for 4 o'clock.
Who were the 6 people?
It was myself, it was my friend James, who's standing here, my brother, his fiance, and my niece.
Okay. And then what happened? Did they show up at 4?
No, they did not, and I continued to call, and I kept hearing, we're on our way, the driver's stuck, the driver's in traffic, then he had to get gas. At one point I said, let's take the train, but the problem was we were traveling with a child.
How old's the child?
Right now, about 1.5 years.
Okay.
When the car finally came.
When did the car finally come?
The car arrived after 6 o'clock p.m.
2 hours?
2 hours it was, yes.
It was 2 hours late and you continued to wait?
Yes. Yes, it was 2 hours late. Well, we kept being told that the car was on the way. It's
Well,
on
I
the
know.
way.
I mean, I buy that for the first X amount of time, and then at some point you just say they're liars and it can't be true.
Well, the problem is, even if we were to take different transportation in.
You were coming from where? Into the city from where?
Massapequa, and at that time of the year, there's a lot of traffic going into the city at that time, and then, finally he did arrive, so.
Okay, so he arrives at 6, and then what happens?
Well,
and what's the mood in that room when everybody's sitting there for 2 hours waiting?
It was terrible. It was terrible. I was probably the only one that was still really, ready to go. And then this gentleman here, Mark, came to the door.
He himself?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, this was the driver.
Okay.
Came to the door, and, the shoes he was wearing were literally chewed up. And I asked him, I said, what happened to your shoes? And he said his dog chewed them.
Okay.
He was just disheveled looking, which, you know what, at this point, I just wanted to get into the city. So we pay, and he demanded that we pay in full.
When do you pay him in full, in cash?
Oh, yeah, in cash.
Before you enter the limo?
Right, well, I saw the limo outside.
Okay.
I did not.
Now, when you enter this limo, you find something rather odd.
Yes.
And what was it?
When I entered the car, the rear seat, the part that your rear end goes on, the sit, that part, was not there. It was not there. It was...
This was a stretch?
This is just a 6-passenger stretch limousine,
so
yes.
it's a seat here and a seat here facing each other formation.
Facing each other.
Facing each other formation.
Yes.
So there's a seat here, and what is everybody else sitting on this side?
There's a seat that that's behind the driver.
Right.
And the one that's at the back door, there's a back part of the seat, but the cushion that you sit on was not there. It was just metal and plastic, you know, like whatever's under the seat is there.
Right, and you still don't, you are the eternal optimist. You still don't abort and pry the money out of his hands?
Well, no, I did not.
Come on up. What's your name?
My name is James Saladino.
James, what are you saying at this point?
I wanted to go to the city, but I'm also saying this is horrendous. But you know, let's go anyway.
Okay, so what do you tell him? You say, what the heck? Where's the back seat, right?
I said, what's going on? I said at first, is this a joke? And he played like he didn't know anything. And then he said, oh, the driver from the night before had to clean it because somebody threw up in it.
Could you smell the throw up?
I smelled other things. I don't know if it was throw up. I mean, the car was stuck.
Was there a woman in this group?
Yes, there was. We don't speak no more.
You don't, over this?
No, not over this.
Better not be over this.
No, not over this.
What is this? How do you, is it accurate that you showed up 2 hours late and without a back seat?
Well, I believe it was 45 to 50 minutes late, not 2 hours. And what happened was...
Why would that be acceptable?
Well, the original driver called in sick, and I had to fill in on an emergency basis.
What excuse would there possibly be to ruin people's evening?
He actually called me at 3:15, and I was actually in another car doing an airport.
Why is there no back seat to the car that you picked them up in?
Well, apparently there was a problem the night before that I didn't know about till I got to his house.
You didn't know about it? So what kind of operation are you running?
Well, I have the driver that gave a note in as evidence. She left a note for me that apparently got misplaced.
How much did you charge these folks to take them into the city and back?
I believe it was $600.
How much did they charge you?
It was $680 plus 20% gratuity, came to a total of $816. And I paid that in cash.
Only in America. Hand that over, please. So now you get in, so you decide to go anyway,
yes,
because it's Christmas. And what do? You just sit on the metal?
Yeah.
So go on, what happened?
We got to the city. There was a lot of traffic. The time we got to the city, we had decided at that point, we're not going to make the show. We're just going to go have dinner at Carmine's. And that's what we did. We went.
What time did you get to the city?
8 o'clock.
What time did the show start?
8 o'clock.
And you made a decision not to go to the show?
Oh, yes.
But you're suing him for the tickets to the show.
Well, the reason why we decided not to go to the show is because we had other relatives that were meeting us at Carmine's. So they
but they weren't meeting you at 8 o'clock at Carmine's.
No, I understand that, but they were there.
Can I interrupt them? Sorry.
Yeah.
We honestly never thought we were even getting there on time to get to the show.
But if you got there at 8 o'clock and the show starts at 8, you could have made the show, right?
Well, we had called to tell them to meet us at Carmine's.
Okay, no, and I understand that. It's your night. It's just a question of whether I can say they missed the show because of your lateness, as opposed to they chose not to go to the show. And if you chose not to go to the show, which I might have made the exact same decision, it might have been more fun at that point just to eat, everybody's frazzled, nobody wants to sit for 2 hours, that's fine, but
we had no choice but to eat first.
Well, you had a choice.
No, we didn't.
Oh, yes, you did, because if you got there at 8 and the show starts at 8, you could have gone to the show. It's unpleasant, but you could have gone to the show.
Could not have.
Why?
Because myself, as well as James, we're both on medication, and it's very important that we eat. When we take our medication, we take a medication at a certain time every day. That's the truth.
Okay, listen to me. You made a decision, which I respect. It's just that I don't know that that means that they've got to pay for your show. Tell me about the pants.
I ripped my pants. On
the seat that was missing, on whatever was there, the surface?
I don't know if it was ripped on the actual metal or it was ripped on, where it goes together. But I did rip my pants on the back leg area.
Did you notice that you had done it when it happened?
Oh, yes. I brought it to the driver's attention.
Did you show it to him?
I was wearing them, so yeah. Yeah, I turned around, I showed him.
Did you take them off and show it to him?
No.
Did you see that his pants were ripped because of your ridiculous situation with no back seat?
Yes.
All right. And so you must have felt awful.
I did.
You felt so awful that what did you do?
Well, they were sort of threatening me on the way in, so I just left him there.
What is the name of your Bob Mark Limousine Corporation? I wouldn't hire you to get me out of town if the boogeyman was chasing me. How could you do that? How were they threatening you?
No, just saying, they were going to beat me up.
They didn't say that. You never once said that in your answer to the complaint. You're just making that up now because you look so bad.
No, they did threaten me.
Not once in your answer to the complaint do you say they said they were going to beat me up. Okay? Let me read to you what you say instead. He was upset. You do say he started threatening me and telling me he was going to sue me. Oh, beat you up in court is what you meant, right? Not physically harm you. He started threatening me that he was going to sue me, and he cursed at me. He's a nasty man. And if he were a nice guy, his pants would be intact. If he was a nice guy, his pants would be intact. I don't know how that could be possible. So what happens? You guys go to Carmine's, you end up meeting some relatives there, and what happens? You have a good time?
Yeah, we actually did. Food's great there. But when we were done with our dinner, and of course we took our medication.
Oh, good. I was worried.
I know. We had dessert, and we, called him like we told him we would to let him know, and there was no answer. So we called again, and there was no answer. Not until the next day did I get a hold of this gentleman where he said some, nasty things that, I don't know if I can say them.
Yeah, Sam.
He called me and then he used another word. I don't think it should say it.
Oh, say it. A what?
Yes.
I've never even heard that term. I don't know what it means.
Radio. Serious.
Did you call him those things?
I don't recall. Possibly I did.
It's funny. If I use those terms, I might recall using them.
No, he did.
Oh, my gosh. How'd you get home?
Ended up taking two town cars. One that went to Massapequa, and one took my relatives to Belmore.
Who had come with you on the ride?
That's correct.
I'm in shock. When you call him the next day, do you tell him I want a refund?
I didn't even really get even to saying that. He was saying, I let him know that I was going to sue him, just leaving it on the voicemail.
Okay, the pants were $310?
Yes.
Okay, what kind of pants were they?
They were Aldo Zellas.
You didn't bring me the pants?
No, I did not. I apologize.
Why don't you bring it today for me to see them?
I don't know.
I mean, how do I know those are the pants you ruined?
That's a good point.
Show me what you paid for the tickets.
I do not have that, Your Honor.
Why not?
I didn't get a receipt. I paid cash
How do I
to
know
a
you were
ticket
even
broker.
going? How do I know they weren't comped? I don't know what I don't know what your situation is. You bring me no proof on that. I have to understand your reason. I don't understand. What is your reasoning for leaving a family of 6 stranded in the city on December 4th when the traffic and everything is absolutely the worst?
No, I just felt threatened,
What did they say?
They said we're going to pummel you.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So how long would you wait for a limo before you bail and find other transportation?
Like 15 minutes.
15 minutes?
Yes.
That's pretty tight. What do you think?
I think like 5 minutes, not more.
You would wait 5 minutes and that's it? Seriously?
Yeah, it needs to wait for...
Anybody a little more reasonable here? What do you think?
I'd wait 45. Wait 45 minutes.
Okay, you know what? That sounds about right. And make a lot of calls in between, right? Yeah. Got your point. Going inside the courtroom.
We're going to pummel you. Right, while you're driving. They said we're going to pummel you. You don't sound believable. What is your defense?
It was a snowball effect, with me being at the airport and the driver calling in the last minute.
That doesn't sound like a defense. It sounds like I'm sorry, which is the last thing that you sound apologetic if you in fact called him a...
I think I may have said that because of the way he was acting.
That's funny, because it's really kind of anti-Semitic, don't you think? You got to think about that one? You got to think about whether saying something like that is anti-Semitic?
No.
I have a question for you. Where was your pickup supposed to be? And not at the house, a pickup from the city back to Long Island.
It's going to be at Radio City.
I find in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of the $1,883. That is my judgment.
Thank you.
Well, here comes the limo driver out here into the hallway. What's your reaction to the verdict?
I guess things happen in life, and it's part of life.
You proud of your work that day?
No.
You're lucky the judge didn't pummel you. All right, that's it. Fellow Officer McIntosh. All right, men, so you satisfied how this comes out?
Very much so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just can't believe, that somebody would actually run a business like that. But I guess it happens. I mean, I'm glad that the judge, saw it in my favor and understood what was going on here.
Did you threaten to beat him up?
Absolutely not.
No?
I would never threaten
What was the
anybody.
rudest thing you said? He said you were rude.
I believe maybe I said some, nasty things, but not at him. Maybe I said, like, this car smells like, it was terrible.
All right, so you made the best out of a bad situation that night. Next time, Carmine's, they deliver,
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to deliver to Long Island, though.
All right, over to Harvey.
A lot of these limos are licensed either by the city, the county, or the state, depending on where you live. And if you really deal with a guy like this where you're not getting satisfaction, call the company that licenses or the agency. They might be able to get involved in pressure a settlement for you.